So you're ready to start working with materials, but you're not sure where to begin or how to do it. Not to worry, today we're going to take a look at where to get them and how to use them to make your VR chat world look amazing and exactly like you want it to. So the first thing we're going to need to do is actually have materials. Now, what we're looking at here, I just want to preface, is actually a shader, which is a type of material, but done completely differently. We're going to be looking at something a little more basic today, like how we would get this material. So what we want to do, go over to polyhaven.com. I'll put a link in the description. Here we will find 648 open source Creative Commons textures, which means you can use it however you want in your world without breaking any kind of rules if you're worried about that. Let's go ahead and see how this works. Let's grab this rocky terrain and we're going to go ahead and download it, and we don't really need super high because that would make our world size huge. Textures and materials are the #1 way that both video games and VR chat worlds inflate their size to the point where nobody goes in it or downloads the game. So we want to go ahead and get this 1K texture because that's what we'll be using to make it quest friendly anyways. And as you can see, the download size changes dramatically based on 1K or 4K textures. A 4K texture is 100 megs, which is gigantic. We're only going to use this 1K one. And just to put it out there, this is the raw size. So when it's compressed, when your game actually builds, it will reduce that size. But it's still a good thing to note the size difference between 1K and 4K textures. So if you download the same thing like I did, you'll have something that looks something like this. What we'll need to do is extract the folder so we have it usable, and then go into our textures. And we're only going to touch on a couple of these kinds of textures today. We're going to use the albedo and the normal. The roughness, specular, and forget the name of this one. This one work a little more complicated, and we're going to try to keep it basic today. Having a normal map and the albedo will already put you a step ahead of most worlds. So these are the two we're going to be looking at today. So let's go back into here and go into our assets, and we'll make a new folder called texture imports. And we'll go ahead and put our 2 textures in here. Now, of course, we need to mark our normal map as a normal map, then hit apply. And we're going to go ahead and highlight both of these and turn the quality down to 1024 and hit apply again. Now we need to make a material. So here's our material. I'm going to call this rocky terrain. Alright, well, it helps if we spell things right. It doesn't really matter, but it's a pet peeve, you know? Alright, so now we're going to apply our albedo and our normal map. So at this point, we have a material. You can see here it works. It works pretty well right out the box. So let's go ahead and hit play and see what it looks like in game. Alright, so not bad, but it does look a little off in my opinion. So if we actually adjust the smoothness, we can see that adjusts how shiny it is. And the same thing with the metallic. Now, since we're using a rocky ground, we probably want 0 for smoothness and metallic. Now this looks a little better. Now we can also change the tiling here. What this does is basically sets the repeating amount. So for instance, let's change it to 5, and it makes it smaller and repeats more. Consequently, if we change it to 0.5, it makes it one larger texture. Now, the offset adjusts the position. Let's reset it back to normal. Now, we can also adjust emission, and adjusting the emission will give us a sort of glow effect. Now, for most circumstances, you probably won't be using the emission, so we can just go ahead and uncheck that. And that's it. Hopefully this gave you a solid start. Whether you're building your first VRChat world or just looking to add more polish to the one you've already got, these little systems can go a long way toward making your world feel interactive and alive. If you want to try this asset out before dropping it into your own project, I've got a public demo world set up. You can jump in, push buttons, test things out, and see exactly how it works in action. I always try to keep the demo world updated with the latest version, so it's a great place to explore and get ideas. And if this video helped you, or if you're using any of my tools in your world, consider supporting me on Patreon. It helps me carve out more time to make these assets, keep them updated, and put together more tutorials like this one. Even a small pledge goes a long way and means a lot. There's a link to both the demo world and the Patreon in the description below, so feel free to check them out. Thanks again for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.